Elevated Grapes Podcast.
Elevated Grapes Podcast.
With your host, Sethi.
Your host, Sethi.
And Stylist Rashi Bindra.
It's time to get started.
Let's talk fashion, shall we?
Alright, so welcome to Elevated Grapes. I am your host, Sethi.
And Stylist Rashi Bindra.
And we're starting today's show off with a little bit of on a sad note. You're hearing this show the week that the superstar, all-star, the legend that is Kobe Bryant passed away in a very tragic accident on a chopper, along with his daughter, Gianna, and a couple of, I think it was a total of 9 folks.
Right.
Another whole family that was going to a training center with him, father and son and their daughter, and a few other folks. So, first and foremost, our condolences to all of them and their families. There's a lot, obviously, in the news and social media about Kobe right now, and
it took a while for everybody to actually grasp that news that was actually happening. I mean, yeah. I'm not a basketball fan, but even I knew who he was.
Well, of course. I mean,
right?
it's his he's beyond the States. He's beyond like just LA. Like he's worldwide. He's a worldwide name, a household name around the globe. When you see anything on social media that's outpouring from as far as Southeast Asia to the Caribbean to Latin America, and then obviously North America because that's where his home is. The impact that he's had.
Right.
What is it? I think it's about a 20-year career from 96 to 2016.
But it's not only
all with the Lakers.
But it's not only about basketball, right? It's about his contribution in society as a whole, and his ability to see beyond the game, and his ability to see beyond a player. It wasn't just about a player having basketball skills. It was above and beyond that.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that a little bit just to talk about him his the legend that he was, the legend that he is, and the legacy that he's leaving behind.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, to kind of just a couple quick things on his career. I have a couple of notes, so I will refer to them. But 20 years, so like since '96, retired in 2016. So a strong 20-year career. He came straight out of high school, specifically with the Lakers the whole time.
Okay.
5 championships, 3 of them back to back, from 99 to 2002. I think it was. That's what I wrote down. He had, I think I wrote down as well, like he had 18 All-Star games, which is insane. Records both off season, both during the season and post season.
Mm-hmm.
The youngest, I think it was at the age of 34. 1 second, I'm going to double check that. Yeah, at the age of 34, he had 30,000 points, which is the youngest player to ever do that. So just a phenomenal career on the court. There's announcing debates on social media of whether he's top 2, top 3, top 5, whichever the number is. I mean, he's in that realm of basketball.
In that category, essentially.
Exactly. So I mean, the lefty's mark on the court, and if you ever watched any interviews or any sort of things with him, like his teammates and all those, and those that worked around him, just they went on and on about his how he was as a team member, and then his work ethic, which I think was one of the other things that made him, which you were alluding to earlier, mm-hmm. which made him into the superstar that he is. It wasn't just the on-court contribution, the work ethic. Like literally, the guy would be in the gym for hours on end practicing the exact same shot. Just when he's on the court during a game, he can nail it without fault, and he did. Like he was so clutch in those situations. So off the court too, I mean, he had the respect of his teammates and the basketball community and outside the community as a whole.
And that was also part of his mindset, right? Because one of the things was, and he had this mindset that he had adopted at a very early age, which was getting over myself.
Yeah.
Right? And for those who don't know what that would entail or what that means, it's essentially that life is different every single day. You could be doing the same thing over and over again, and one day you're gonna have that shot. You are gonna nail it at work. Mm-hmm. Like you're gonna do everything perfectly. the next day you're doing the exact same routine and everything goes down.
And it may not be the exact same result.
Exactly. Right? But now and I think what's important in this is that it's how you deal with it. So as humans, we all have the tendency to let those negative outcomes consume us.
Right.
Versus, just being headstrong about it and saying, okay, you know what? I may have done the exact same thing yesterday. I succeeded. Today, I did not do that well. But that's fine. And tomorrow is going to be like a better day. We don't do that to ourselves. There's very few of us
sort of dwelling negative and what went wrong.
And I think that's also part of his upbringing as well, because he had that stability thanks to his parents, especially his dad, who always told him whether you score 0 or whether you score 60. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit. Sure. I will like I still love you. So imagine as a child and then as a teenager. Support. And then growing up and especially in a field like this, and that becomes applicable to every single thing you do in life. It's not always about winning and losing. It's about the fact that you've put your best foot forward. Yeah, you're gonna do great one day. You're not, but you still have that love. You still have that support, and that built his stable ground.
Well, I think they help set the footing for the mentality on how to approach loss, how to approach failure, how to approach when things don't go the way you want, because that in itself is what made him such a success, because his mindset was always looking at it from a positive light.
And it was also seen beyond the game. It was seen about what I want from my overall life. What character do I want? And I think that's how he started seeing, his other players and stuff. Like, he had the ability to see beyond just a person. He saw like the bigger picture.
Well, I think if you look at it as a business, whether it's in fashion or whether it's in any industry, right. I mean, I think if you look at it that way, like, he just thought about Kobe Bryant, the brand, right? Because at some point, they also, like his family and him, they also realized that Kobe Bryant, the brand, is bigger than Kobe Bryant, the person now. It's like a Michael Jordan, it's like a LeBron James. Like, the brand behind that name is so huge. And with the endorsements, like his Coca-Cola and, partnerships, and his Adidas endorsements, and all these other things, like, the brand that was Kobe Bryant, because of who he was, how he portrayed himself, how he lived his lifestyle, how he thought about things, how he, his mentality towards success, like that, being in the limelight the way he is, and the way he was, and building that brand, like that brand became such a massive entity of its own, that I think he had to anybody in that situation has to almost step aside and say, okay, well, I can't just be
about myself,
exactly. Like, I got it. Now I'm representing not only myself, but that brand also is a part of who I am. So I gotta make sure that I live up to what I'm building here.
Exactly. And then you made your point. You start bringing in like the whole family aspect, right? Like, his wife and his kids or whatever. Like, one of the things. So I had heard his podcast with like Jay Shetty, and we heard that months ago, and it was one of my favorites that I still hear it. And one of the things he said was, yes, my kids are athletes, but I still want to tell them stories. I still want them to believe in that magic, but now that magic has to become real.
Yes.
Right? That's something that we didn't have growing up.
Right.
And what I loved about the fact that he became a creator, and his thing was always create from truth. So whatever his circumstances was, whatever his exposure was in life, and what he gave to his kids, he started just like creating that over and over.
I think that it just speaks to his genuine character and the authenticity, right? Because if it's coming from where, like, yourself and who you actually are, then it's gonna be genuine. It's gonna be real. You're gonna, no matter what way you portray it, it's gonna come from who you are. So it'll always be a real sort of portrayal of that personality. Whereas if you're trying to be someone that you're not, or you're acting a certain way, like, I think that's what he was trying to instill in his kids, and probably what his dad instilled in him, that you have to be who you are, no matter what, at the end of the day. And so he wanted to instill those genuine characteristics in his kids, so that they always come from that root, whatever they do.
And that's so important, especially in an industry of sports, of arts, of entertainment, of fashion, right? Like, these are all very...
You can get caught up so easily in everything outside of it.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up. And it's
think about it. He's one of the most successful basketball players there ever was. business wise to like I think his business. There was something I was reading. I don't remember the exact number, but worth over a couple of $1 billion. He's worth hundreds of millions himself. They've invested in so many different projects. Both across industry and like you don't like when you're at that scale and your brand is that big, right? If you're not grounded and you don't have the footing and that upbringing like you were talking about with the parents, instilling those proper values, both in him and him furthering that with his kids, like it's so easy to get lost and get taken away by all that and become something that you're not.
And what's really, and yes, the outside support and the family support is very important. I'm not taking that away, but sometimes there are also cases of people who may get that support from their parents, who may get that, but they still don't have that discipline. And the one thing, it's what he said that I have now written that down and it's on my like mirror and my bathroom mirror where it says I've made a deal with myself that it's non-negotiable. So if I have made a list of certain things I need to do today and have that discipline, it doesn't matter if I'm tired, it doesn't matter if I'm sick, it doesn't matter if my knee is busted, it does not matter. If I have to get certain things done, I'm doing that. And that's a discipline that he had within himself, and that's really what changed things for him.
Yeah, like he would literally be like the only guy on the team that was in there shooting in the gym when the other players were home resting, because he's like, I gotta nail this shot. Like I can't do it. If when it comes down to the buzzer beater fourth quarter and they want someone to make that shot and they gotta do that to finish or beat the opponents, it's gonna go to Kobe because they know that they can count on him. And he built himself to the point where that reliability was consistent over and over, and that's the work ethic and the discipline he's talking about. In order to become that go-to person, but that being that go-to person is what got him to the status that he is. It's what got him the endorsements that he got. It's what built the empire and the branding of what Kobe Bryant represents. There's hundreds of other basketball players, and even just to make it to the NBA is an accomplishment on its own, let alone anything else. But then to go that far and then stand out even amongst your peers in that level of play. Yeah. I mean, you have to be something exceptional in order to do that. And there's only, like we talked about the top 3, top 5. Like there's only like a few of them, like the LeBron James of the world, the Kawhi Leonards, the Kobe Bryants. Like, and there's only gonna be a few of these that are gonna have that level of stature because they've been able to even amongst the elite build up their standard.
And again, right, it's like the fact that he managed to touch people who are not even in the sports industry. Like I know nothing about sports, and I know you make fun of me for that. But there are times 100%. You will be like, what is? Yeah.
I make fun of you for a lot of things. That's definitely the least of all of them. But,
but the fact that I've heard his podcast like a few times, that I knew who he was, and I was also like so sad. And then,
but even if you just what you just said there, even if you think about that, like a guy like Jay Shetty, he's not going after every basketball player to get him on his podcast.
But he went after Kobe.
But he was like, he's like, I want Kobe, right? And what's like, you got to think about the reason behind that. Like again, going back to our point, like having that special character and being that special of a person amongst the elite already, being able to stand out in that audience. That's why a guy like Jay Shetty, who builds like a master podcast, is going to go after someone like Kobe Bryant.
And it's also even just us in general, right? So, for example, I'm part of a business book club, right? And we just got our new book announced yesterday, and the book was on Kobe Bryant. Like that was the first thing that we got. It's like, and it's not because of what happened. Yes, that may have played a factor into it.
Yeah, it's probably in there somewhere, but it's coming up soon. But it's still a book you guys would have done.
It's because what he has achieved for people like us who are entrepreneurs, who are creatives, who are in this midst of an industry. He has something that we all want to learn from.
Yes.
Right? So that was the first thing that was like sent to us later yesterday or early this morning, that here's our second book. Right. And this is what we're going to, now read in this month and talk about and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, so his story is one that's just incredible. I mean, we, like you said, we were listening to that podcast with Jay Shetty a number of times, even, I mean, before all this.
Of course, yeah.
And there's so much when you listen to him, there's so much learning from everything that he was
saying.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy. Like
it's the smallest things.
But it's everyday things, but this is now coming from someone who implements them and has reached the ultimate height with them.
Yeah.
Right. So it just goes back to saying to our earlier point that it's you can want all these things and you can want to become a certain thing or certain level, but unless you have that discipline, unless you have that mentality that I'm going to wake up every morning no matter what's going on and run after my goals and make sure I achieve them. I'm going to stay in the gym shooting till 4 a.m, even though all my teammates are partying or sleeping or whatever the case. Like, he was the focus and the drive that this person had is truly what made him the brand that is Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, and that and to your point, right? Like, you can do anything. You can, like, let's say if you even talk about manifestation, if you talk about law of attraction, you can do all of those things, all of those things. But if you don't have that discipline, that no matter what happens, that time that you're dedicating to your art, to your fashion design, to your music, to whatever it is, if that discipline's not there, you're not going to manifest anything. You're not, like, you can do all the meditation in the world. You can read 1,000 books. It's not going to get you anywhere.
No, you're right. You're right. Because part of that's also innate. Like, we talked about certain things in some of our other podcasts when it comes to being visionaries and being able to make and take that next step. I mean, some people just don't have that in it, but then we talked about, surrounding yourself with the right
people team. And all that stuff.
So even like, I mean, a guy like Kobe, I mean, I think he probably, I've never had a conversation with him, but a guy like him probably would have to have all aspects of that. I mean, outside of just the discipline, but it doesn't mean, because I know people will think and listen and be like, yeah, I do all these things, but I still.
No, I mean, there's a balance.
But I think that it's, like, maybe if you're running it short on a certain aspect of becoming that success, it doesn't mean that you still can't achieve it. It's just maybe, okay, you got to recognize where in certain points you don't have that certain skill set or that certain attribute to get to that point, but then it's finding the right people to work with, right? Because everybody, like, you have to there's at some point you're going to have to depend on Kobe Bryant has a massive team of people.
No one can do anything alone
off the court, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? No one can do it alone.
No, exactly. Like, there's certain things that he's probably not good at, but he's like, you know what, I recognize these things. Here's what I am good at, and here's what I can do. But in order for me to reach that next stage, I need people that can do this, this, and this. And then he built his team around that, right? And
now that you brought up that point, I actually thought about this quote from one of the podcasts of Business of Fashion, and I started again, like, going back to that stuff. And one of them said that sometimes the most difficult people are the most talented people. They just need someone to manage them because they're so like.
Well, see, it's like the whole thing with the ultra creative, right? Like, the ultra creative mind is probably, like, we know some people around us, like, they're super, super talented, but do they know how to hone that talent and build it into something that's can be recognized? Some people, like, I know, like, they have this talent, but no one sees it, but they're incredible. It's just how do you work with them to help them to get that vision and be disciplined enough to, you know what I mean? But and this happens more often than not because sometimes the ultra creative doesn't have that ability to be regimented and be disciplined to make the success.
And sometimes that creative person just needs someone who's, like, literally going to manage them. But now I'm going to go on the other side and say that manager needs to have that discipline. That manager needs to not be, because here's the thing: when you deal with a creative person, and I know, like for example, sometimes you and I, when we deal with stuff, I may have an off day.
Sure.
Or I may be in my own zone, or I may be a bit irritated, whatever, because I'm dealing with my stuff and I don't know how to express that. As my business partner, if you were to get emotional about it and say, but man, like, I don't want to deal with her today because, she's throwing, like, a hissy fit, we're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, we're not going to, of course.
But if you have that discipline to be like, okay, she's having one of her days, and that's fine. She probably wants to like express something, and she doesn't know how to do it. So I'm gonna be there for her.
100%.
Right? And the next thing you know, we start having these crazy ideas, and we start coming up with 1,000 things, and then you tell me, Rashi, please calm down.
Yeah, that happens. That's actually the way it happens every single time.
But that's my point, right? So as a manager for someone, if you're going to be accountable for someone's growth, and from a manager's perspective, exactly, I will say go read Kobe's book. I will say go research him, because you have to have that discipline. You have to take your emotions out of it at times. You have to become that person's lifeline, essentially.
And I think it's recognizing, and you said it, like recognizing what and I don't want to call them shortfalls are, but they're like, we all have them, they're shortfalls, and recognizing what those are, and having the right people around you that can help you balance that out.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not like you can't achieve, or not like you can't make those things happen, but it's like maybe there's certain things that come in your way within yourself, but it's recognizing that, and then having the right people around you to help you move past some of those things. So the stuff that you're good at actually comes out and becomes is at the forefront, versus all the other stuff, that the noise that's holding you back.
And sometimes, you know what, you also get tired dealing with that noise. You just want someone
so difficult sometimes
to deal with it for you, and just be like, dude, I do not want to fucking talk to the world right now. I just want to sit, and I want to put my event plan, and I want to do my mood boards, and I don't give a fuck about anything else. Can you manage this?
Yeah.
And sometimes that changes a person's life.
But not even that. You know what? It's like you said earlier. We both go through, like, there's things, some days where you just need someone who understands you as a person, and says, okay, the person's going through this. That's fine. Let them go through it, and then reconvene later, and help them understand that it is okay to go through that, because you're a human being. Like, everyone has their highs and lows. Everyone has their emotional eaves and troughs. Like, it's normal to have that, and that's okay. But helping them work through it when they're ready to work through it. You can't force it upon someone and make them work on your schedule or on your way of dealing with things, because again, they manage it differently. So understanding, and that's what I'm saying, having the right people around. It's not just about having someone around that's going to do things for you, because a lot of the things you got to do yourself, and maybe you're just not ready for it at the moment, but someone who understands, okay, this is how this person works and how they process, and okay, given that, how do we work with them to make sure that they get through whatever they're going through in the moment, so they can come back and take care of what's been. Because at the end of the day, look, as much as I can, as your friend and partner, and I can come in and say, okay, well, this is how you should do it, Rashi, and no problem, I'll take care of this. You're still not going to be happy with the end result, no matter what I do, because it's not the way you maybe wanted it to have happened. And that's not a knock on me or a knock on you. That's me understanding, okay, in order for Rashi's vision to come through the way it needs to come through, she has to do it. Maybe it's not this exact second, but me being her partner and friend, I need to understand, okay, this is not the right time for her to do it. She's got to go through maybe steps X, Y, and Z before that happens. Yeah. But then that's having the right people around and recognizing that.
Yeah,
and being there for them to work through it, so they can get to the stage to accomplish that. Because I know if I were to go in and implement with your idea, I'm never going to be able to do it the way you want to do it, or the way you'd end up bringing it out, because that's what your strengths are. Right, so you have to understand each other's strengths as the people around you.
Yeah, and you know, like, there are gonna be times, for example, where I'll be like, I don't know how to deal with this person. Can you just step in, because I don't want to. I like their vibes is not, it's not helping me right now.
Of course,
and that's totally okay. And vice versa. There are days when you're like overwhelmed and you don't know how to deal with it, or you want something and you feel like you can't get it, and we're gonna sit and we're gonna talk, and I'm like, okay, I know where he's coming out. I'm like, cool. I'm like, you want the world? Let's go get it. Like, what's stopping you? Let's go get coffee, let's eat food, let's go get the world, and come back and now sleep. Like, I'm tired.
Exactly. So and we're going on a bunch of different tangents, but
the point is, it's that discipline.
Well, the thing is, I think this is all coming from learnings from a great individual who's achieved so many things, who's achieved so many successes, who's built an empire and a brand around their name and their personality and characteristics that stands genuine and authentic and true, right? It's not one of like, okay, well, he achieved something amazing. He was on TV, shot a couple of hoops. Like, it's not. It doesn't just stick to the point like you mentioned. Like, the reason we're having this conversation that's gone so deep into a direction about discipline and work ethic and genuine character is because I think setting that role model and that example that he was, I think that's where we're getting that from.
And that's gonna be part of everyone's journey. If, like, whether it's fashion, whether it's styling, whether it's music, like any like whether it's IT, like whether it's finance, like any industry you pick in, if you want to achieve what you have set your mind to achieve, you're going to have that intention. You're going to have that discipline. You're going to have that stability. And that stability is not always just financial. It's sometimes...
It's physical, it's emotional.
It's emotional, it's support, it's love, it's everything, right? And that's what he built on. So, because of his dad, right, one of the things he said was, I got a lot of stability in my life because of my dad saying that, again, whether I score 6 or 60, I still love you. And that helped him face his fears. And
Yes.
and just to touch on really quickly, one of his other biggest teachings, I guess, was that when you understand the root of your emotional fear, so like whether it's about not scoring in the game, whether it's about not like whether it's about letting like if you're scared that you will like let down your teammates, whatever, you understand what that root is, like what the cause is of that emotional fear or that emotional unsettling, and you deal with it. You work your way backwards. It's like, okay, if I'm gonna if I'm gonna go tomorrow and disappoint you, what am I disappointing you in? Right. Now, what's the consequences? Is that going to matter in a week? Is that going to matter in 5
Of course,
months? Right?
You're saying look at the bigger picture.
But that's so hard for people to do, though, because
it's
it's
hard for everybody because sometimes you get lost in the moment, and a lot of us, and I think we all do it at some point. Is sometimes we let the moment define the situation, the relationship, the circumstances, and that's such a we've caught each other doing that, like and that's such a terrible way to let things unravel, because now at this point we're not looking at the bigger picture. We're not looking at here is how this can play out if we were to think about it holistically. We're saying, okay, this exact situation happened, and that exact situation is what defines all of this, and that's not okay.
And that's also because sometimes it's not the fear always of what other people think of us. It's sometimes what your partner will think of you. It's sometimes your closest ones. You're so afraid to let them down that you let the situation, like you said, overtake everything, versus just, having that faith that, hey, you know what? Yes, I may have let down my partner today, but it's okay, because 5 weeks from now it's not going to matter, and hopefully 5 weeks from now I've done something better. It's not that it doesn't matter.
I think it matters. I think it's like if you
when I say
it's more about learning from it and saying, okay, this experience took place, fine. How do we learn from it so that we grow as in our friendship and in our partnerships?
When I say it doesn't matter, I mean to the point that it shouldn't overly consume you, because that's the part where that stability gets broken.
Right, of course. So let's take a quick break right there, and then we'll continue after the break.
Sounds good.
Hey guys, we're taking a quick break just to remind you where you can find our podcast online.
You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Tunes.
Apple Music, but you call it Apple Tunes.
Whatever.
Right. You can also find us on TuneIn, on Google Play, and of course Instagram when we do it the first Tuesday of every month.
And Facebook, here and there.
Here and there.
Here and there.
So thanks for tuning in, and now back to our podcast.
And we are back from our little break. What did you do during the break?
I checked my phone.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah. What else were you thinking I was going to do?
I don't know. Check the camera, check the audio. I don't know.
That's all your job.
I know.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Do you really want me to be like
No, I
messing
don't
around
want
with
you to
this
touch.
stuff?
Please don't touch anything. Please don't touch any of it. So I think to sum up that point, like with Kobe, he was a legend in his lifetime, and he built a legacy for his brand, his family, his even as a team like the Lakers and everything around him. That legacy extends, not just it extends around the globe, but within LA too, just everything to do with the city, to do with schooling and basketball and what basketball is to that place. Just even around the celebrities, around even the Staples Center alone, that building is synonymous with the Lakers, with the home for the Lakers and Kobe Bryant. They've done so much just within the city themselves, and I think that's the responsibility of a lot of these mega sports stars or celebrities, is giving back to their communities, and Kobe was a big component of that from a philanthropic standpoint. But within his own city, building that branding around the branding on the Lakers and bringing that to his home, and they did a big tribute to him at the Grammy'S.
At the Grammy'S, and it was I think it was a bit of a difficult day, because they're hearing about this news, and the Grammys are taking place, and
all in the same week and the same night, right? Like
the same day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It just everything just happened that day, and they're celebrating in his quote unquote home.
and
the Staples Center.
you know, I mean, yes, the show must go on, but I mean, it was such a mixed feeling because if you go by his outlook in life and his teachings and his discipline, yes, not only does the show go on, it goes on with what it, like, with that vision, with what exactly they had planned to do.
Yes.
Right? But at the same time, you know, every single person, they was having such mixed feelings about going because it's like,
It's so difficult.
it's such a hard moment. How do you be celebrating wins at the same time mourning the person whose home this is?
Yeah.
Right?
It is. Well, I think it depends on how you look at it. Like, you know, a lot of them were. It was definitely a tragic time, and it was hard to swallow that pill to go there. But I think it's also now, given the legacy that he's built, it's also a celebration of his life and a celebration of what he's brought to the city and the globe in general. So I know they did a nice tribute to him or for him.
Alicia Keys with Boyz II Men did a beautiful tribute. I think like if you were watching it, every single person in that room was crying.
But in that specific tribute, I think is worthwhile to even just go onto YouTube or anywhere and just watch it.
Yeah, just go on YouTube and just type in Grammy'S, Alicia
Kobe
Keys,
Bryant,
or just even Kobe Bryant, and it's gonna come up like 100%.
Yeah, so but I understand that they did that. You were doing some research on that. Like they put that together quite quickly.
It was like in 10 minutes they had to put that together.
Yeah.
So when the news happened, and you know, everything got confirmed and stuff, Alicia Keys. So that day, so I think it was like maybe 2-3 hours before the Grammys.
Yeah.
Call up Boyz II Men. They put that relatively quickly. And I mean,
well, they're incredible artists, all of them. So
and they did that, and I think that's also part of, you know, hosting. That's part of
working in the moment. There's something that's new that's come up. You gotta build that into your show,
and you have to, you know, hit your audience. Your audience has to feel emotional. I mean, now I'm not talking about the specific incident, but I'm just talking in general from an industry standpoint of view. Like when things do not go as planned. And you have to improvise, whether it's 10 minutes like before the show, or even an hour before the show. The audience cannot know it's been improvised, right? Like in their minds, like apparently this was planned so well.
Yes.
And I think that again speaks to how professional you are in the industry. How it's not always about how many people you know and how big your name is. It's just about you as a entertainer, right? Like again, whether you're a host, whether you are a presenter or an actor, or like whatever the case is, or a singer in this case. So yeah, that was actually really, really well done.
Which is even from the event planning standpoint, from the folks that run the Grammys, like they recognize obviously they can't let this unsaid or undone.
You have to, yeah.
It's like, you know, who do we work with? How do we make sure this is done properly? Because I mean, you're in a very short time frame. And as an event planner, it's like, well, you know, we got to make sure this is done properly with respect and for who we're doing it for the families, you know, for the community, because everybody in that room was friends and or family with Kobe as well. You know, a lot of close relationships in there, so you want to make sure that's taken care of. And then obviously for the audience in general, because you have people watching around the globe, and those people are a lot of them are big fans of this person too. So, you know, you want to make sure you show that what you're trying to do respectfully, and you're trying to put it together so quickly and fit it into a show that's generally outside of that a celebration of successes.
Yeah.
So that is not an easy thing to do, especially so last minute. It's one thing if you have time to, and this goes for any show, if you're planning a big piece like that to fit it into the flow of the event. But if you're now trying to put it in last minute within a few hours of the show and making sure it's still done with that same level of class, it's not an easy task to complete.
Absolutely not. And again, and then to be able to sing, you have one singer and then you have one band, and all of them coming together.
Yeah, but that, I mean, like for me, that's
beautiful.
It's because these guys are those like Alicia Keys and Boyz II Men are such incredible artists and professionals.
So incredible.
To me, I mean, yes, obviously you want to make sure you're in sync and you're harmonizing, but though, like them being able to pull that off in a few hours to me is second nature to them. I'm not saying they wouldn't. There's
No,
challenges.
but I definitely know what you mean by that.
Yeah, like it's just they're so amazing at what they do. Like if you're gonna trust anyone, like those are the kind of people you want to trust to go and you have 2 hours, put this together and make it perfect.
Yeah.
Alicia Keys is an artist like that, and Boyz II Men are artists like that too.
Yeah,
they were listening to any one of them. So sort of jump into that and let's talk about some of the stuff at the Grammys now. You had a lot of opinions on this.
I do not have a lot of opinions on the fashion.
So let's get into the fashion of the Grammys. We're a fashion talk. We're not going to talk about the music. I mean, there's some good artists, some amazing wins there.
I will not lie.
Canadian artists that took home some prizes too. So congratulations for Canadian artists.
I will not lie. My focus was the red carpet last night, and then I ate food and I just did other stuff.
Watched it, yeah.
There you go.
Well, then you extended the red carpet onto your social media.
Oh yeah. So
the show's good, but let's focus on what's important here, the fashion.
So those who don't follow me on social media, well,
do that now. Firstly, it's at Rashi Bindra.
So what happened was yesterday. So while the red carpet was going, I was getting the images of the artist, and I was putting them on my social media, on my Instagram stories actually, and I started a poll: yay or nay.
So which ones? Let's talk about them in specific. Which ones did you talk about?
Now
and we'll put them on the screen for those watching on YouTube. For those that are listening on any one of the streaming sites or our syndicated video show, they'll be on our Facebook page under on Tuesday's.
Well, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, today.
This is it's airing today.
Today.
And that is the 28th of January. Oh my God, January's almost done.
I know.
The 28th of January. So you'll see that on our Facebook on that date with all the pictures too.
So first off, I had on Ariana Grande.
Oh, I've seen her dress.
I personally didn't like it.
Let's take a look one more time. Pass it this way.
Here you go.
Yeah.
And the only reason I wasn't a fan of her look yesterday was just because I feel she's done this. I mean, yes, I know a lot of people liked it. It got a lot of yays, but it's not something wow. It's not something new. It's not like this did not make it into my top 10, which isn't. It did, but it did for a very different reason. We actually compared that this look was very similar to last year, and the article drops in a few. I think the article's actually out, so we'll put that link. But so this I hesitated to put this on my top 10, but because this was a collaboration with somebody else, she did want to mention it, but we then came to a compromise why it's not my top 10, and she looks great, but not something I go gaga about. I'm like, oh my God, wow, no.
So you're not Lady Gaga about Ariana Grande?
Nah, not this outfit. I feel it's been there, done that. Girl, get over your ponytail. Like the whole grown-up woman being a kid, trying to be sexy kitten, you're done with. It's boring now. Please move on with your life.
I disagree. I loved it.
You're a guy. Very different.
No, it's very different. I'll tell you why I liked it, because she usually does that really short baby doll type of skirt, which is like high-waisted. Like
this is a very similar dress to last year's Grammy.
Which is fine. But I still like this on her because it's different than what you see her in all the time on social media. Like she's wearing that when she performs, she wears that really high. Which I have no problems with it. But it's a regular style you see on her. But this one steps it aside and gives her a whole. Even though she's only done it twice, it gives her a different look.
See, and my take is this is a red carpet affair. If you had done this and not done something similar to this last year, by all means, I'd be...
What did she do last year? I don't remember.
So last year, she didn't attend the Grammys, but she actually ended up...
She didn't do it last year.
Let me finish.
You just said she didn't attend.
She took promos before the Grammys, and she had an outfit for the Grammys, and that was hashtag that even though I'm not performing or something, this is my Grammys outfit. And it was very similar to this.
I think we should show that one as well.
I'm going to pull it out. Hold on. Let me go to my notes because I was having this insane debate with someone about this. Yes, people were actually... it was a great night.
They pay attention to you?
Shut up. Of course they do.
Oh. I'm not aware of this.
Look, this is so similar.
It's so different.
It's so similar.
Maybe the color, but the outfit.
Similar.
It's such a different dress.
Okay. The word I'm saying is similar.
No, it's very different.
It's nothing wow. Sorry.
It's very different.
No, I do.
It's very different.
No, I'm not a fan of this.
Let's move on from Ariana Grande. We're going to agree to disagree. I'm probably agreeing with the person you wrote the article with.
What the hell?
Who do we missed a...
Oh. Lil Nas?
Yeah, but he's a country guy. He's a country guy. He's wearing his country outfit.
That did not make him to my top 10. I will be honest with you.
He floated pink. I mean, I'm not a fan of the outfit just because I don't understand it. But he's a country guy, so I understand the motivation and the inspiration behind it.
I understand that as well. I'm not denying that. But
so sorry, we're talking about Lil Nas X and his pink country
cowboy outfit. A full bright bubblegum Versace pink
with
outfit.
a midriff.
Yes, I think that's why I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been a fan of it either way.
Yeah, I mean,
regardless of the midriff or not. But the point on this fact is that
that's his inspiration.
His inspiration,
and I get
understand
it.
that, I think.
I do.
But then he's taking that and he's wants to make it exaggerated. I think that's what he did. Camp, if you will. A term I learned last year.
I know. I was very proud of you for that. Yeah, but again, like, I get it that he made a statement. It just not like when I think of Grammys and the red carpet, I think of elegance. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of us. So
I think it's more Oscars though. I think Grammys are a little bit more free and people get the chance to experiment a little bit.
I mean, yes,
Oscars is a bit more black tie and formal and elegant. I think the Grammys are a little more free flowing, a little bit fun. You can go a little bit crazier with your outfits.
Yes, you can. You absolutely can. But I don't know. I personally was not feeling this outfit.
Fair enough.
I was like, I wasn't hating on it. Like, I didn't want to rant about this outfit, and I know you give me that look. But do you want to talk about my rants? It's gonna come up at some point.
Your what?
My rants about a couple of major outfits.
Let's go because I'm sure they're coming up. Okay, so who's next? Who do we have here?
Lucky Day.
Sorry, who's this?
Lucky Day.
Okay, so what do you think about his?
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
I feel like Childish Gambino did that exact same outfit. Not this year, but before.
Probably.
I'm gonna pull up when I put this picture up of Lucky Day. I'm gonna put up the Childish Gambino one right after, so right now, and you're gonna see it's pretty much the exact same outfit.
I mean, a lot of people liked it. It wasn't, like I said, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It did not make it to my top 10.
So why are we talking about it?
Huh?
Why are we talking about it?
I don't know. Let's just move on. Billie Eilish?
Yeah, Billie Eilish, yeah.
Billie Eilish, there you go.
Go back.
So.
Okay, so so Billie Eilish, we're going to put a picture up right now, just so you can see it. And it's on our Facebook page if you're listening on our streaming sites. What are your thoughts?
No, man. Like, I get the whole statement thing, but this oversized hobo look is so overdone.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, because I don't even think it's a hobo look. I think she looks like a unqualified gremlin. Like, I'm not really sure what's happening there. What's with the nails?
Like, I'm just like no.
There's a point of trying to make a statement, and there's a point of where your statement's lost. Her statement's lost.
Exactly. I think that's what it is. Like,
did you see her response when they're announcing her and she won whatever category? I forget the category she was in.
Did she win like 5 Grammys?
At one point, but one of them, she's just like, I hope I don't win, because I think she wanted Ariana Grande to win, or thought she should have won.
Yeah.
I think it was album or something like that. And then she won, and she, like, there's so many memes about it. Her face just looked disgusted, like she just was so upset that she won.
Okay, she and I should trade lives.
I think those fingernails look like she's been picking her nose all day.
Moving on. Andrew Platt. I don't know how I feel about this outfit.
This is Maluma? Yeah, it's Maluma.
So.
This is not, I don't know this is not the right name.
No, that's the name that was there.
Oh, because that's Maluma.
Yeah, well, that was the name that was there. So.
I
don't know. Wasn't,
I mean, it looks like a robe. We've seen the robe look before.
Nothing to talk about.
Yeah. Next. I don't know what we're looking at. This one next.
Billy Porter always has to make a statement.
So you're okay with this, but you're not okay with Lil Nas X?
I did not say I was okay with this. I just said that he has to always make a statement. And this did not also make it to my top 10, by the way.
Are we ever going to get to your top 10? Because I feel like we're just looking at random...
No. You will. And
it's like a lampshade on his head. Like, I don't understand that.
So, this lampshade had a remote control where the fringes actually moved.
We're moving on from...
Okay, this one did make it to my top 10. Gwen Stefani. She looked very elegant, very beautiful.
She too does look like a lampshade.
She does not.
I mean, it looks like a chandelier or a lampshade, in like a 97-year-old grandmother's house.
Okay, no, she doesn't, but she looks beautiful.
Some grandmothers cover their couches with the same material.
I'm gonna move on now with this.
That made your top 10?
It was one of my top 10s, yes.
Okay, so you like lampshades.
I do not like
Billy Porter made a
lampshades.
statement. Gwen Stefani wore a lampshade and made her top 10. Rashi Bindra, if you want to dress someone, if you want to be dressed like a lampshade, call Rashi Bindra.
Okay, this also made my top 10. Jamila. She made my top 10.
Oh, she's hot.
Oh, okay, this is what I get. So, focus, please, focus on the fashion. Focus on the fashion, not on the girl.
Sorry.
And guys, this is also what I deal with when we go out.
But I mean, it's a really, this would be in my top 10 for sure.
So this made my top 10.
Unique.
I think she looked like, so here's the funny part.
So sorry, just so we can clarify, who are we talking? What's the girl's name? Jamila. What's her last name?
Jamil.
Okay, so we're gonna put a picture up as well, obviously.
So here is the part that's really funny. There were a lot of people that did not like it, but there were a lot of people. I
don't see what they're not like.
From my
I think it's really cool.
I personally think so again, in my mind, when I'm thinking Grammys, it's not always making a huge statement. It's making a statement in an understated, elegant way, and I think that's what she did.
I like it a lot.
What I love about her, though, in this outfit is that the shoes underneath what she's wearing.
Oh, it doesn't show in that picture.
No.
Okay.
But she's actually wearing $52 shoes, lace-up boots, flats that she's very comfortable in.
It's like the rocker chick almost.
And in my head, I'm like, girl, that's just, there you go. And that's why I fell in love with you. I literally was like, hi, I'm here. Here's my address. Come find me.
Did you DM her on the gram?
No, not yet.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that.
I saw that face. You did. Continue. Next.
So that's what made it. Okay, let's talk about Lily Singh. I'm
gonna hit on our girl for.
Very disappointed. I am so disappointed in her look. Like, I'm just disappointed.
Well, I still don't see what the problem is here. Like, I don't understand what you're not feeling about this. I love the gummy purse or like the candy purse. Like, she was given away at the red carpet.
Okay, so here's what I don't like about her. I like her purse. I have nothing against her purse.
And she went to Simple Elegance with the minimal and the jewelry. I like all that. She did some stuff on the ring, so which is cool because that kind of flows.
Okay, first of all, when you plan to be,
let me finish my synopsis here. The shoes work.
The shoes does not work. If you want to be
jewelry,
if you want to be
Elegance on the earrings with no necklace. Honestly, I like it.
Okay, so Miss Lemon Tree here. Okay, here's what I don't like about this look. Besides calling her a lemon or a lime tree.
Great.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in Lily Singh for this outfit because one, girl, you're at the Grammys. You've dressed way better in the past for stupid shit. So either hire a stylist. If you cannot afford one, call me. We will work out a deal. Okay, but no. Your shoes look too big for you. Why are you doing the typical like satin matchy whatever? Like your shoes look like you made it from the same fabric of your dress. And if you want to be comfortable, and if you're all about comfort and your tomboy style or whatever, dude, throw in gold sneakers. Throw in
But she's done that so many times, and you're gonna say, "Oh, she's done this before."
No, I would not. I would actually like that way more. And then on top of that,
everybody else has done something before. You've commented on it. So my point.
Hold on. Let me finish.
I'm just saying that she's done that before.
Or if you want to wear heels, make it. And if you have a gummy purse, add a bit of fun and contrast to it.
Yeah, the purse was. I think that's what the fun and contrast was. The purse.
But no. Here's the thing.
And she's walking around the red carpet.
Her shoe is too big for her. People, come on.
I don't believe that.
It's right there. Do you want me to circle this? I will circle this and put it on our Facebook page. Like, how is your shoe too, like how? Like, I understand.
I don't think the shoe's too big for her.
It shows. It's shoes too big for her. What are you, blind?
Yeah, clearly, because I don't see a big shoe.
Here you go. Look. I'm going to actually pull this picture up and we're going to zoom in. Because I'm very, very disappointed in her. And, come on, like, you have such a big following. I don't care if you're comfortable or if you're not comfortable. If you reach that status where people look up to you, you can be that fucking like selfish.
I don't think it's selfish.
Hey, of course it is selfish.
I think what she's saying is, hey, you got to be who you're gonna be, no matter what you are.
Be whoever you want to be, but make sure your shoes fit you. You make that much money.
I don't think her shoes look.
Hold on. I am pulling it out. Let me go to my downloads. Download. I'm gonna make this point. Look. If you tell me that is normal, I am going to go take you and get your eyes checked right now.
Maybe they had a shoe malfunction.
I love how you try to defend her. Listen, she's homegirl. She's homegirl. I get it. I've also loved her. I would I'm not hating. I'm not hating on her. But Lily, total disappointment. Did not expect this from you. And get a pedicure, girl. Or get a like seriously.
Go to the next person.
Seriously. She just you're walking the fucking Grammy'S.
Zooms into someone's foot like that. You're disgusting.
This is a stylist. This is my job. Okay.
Next.
No. So very, very, very disappointed in her. I'm gonna stop ranting about her now. Yeah. But then, hire me. We'll work.
I'm pretty sure after that rant, she's gonna totally call you.
Actually, and she should. She should.
Oh, Camilla.
I loved her look. I fell in love with her look. She looked beautiful. She looked elegant.
She didn't even look like herself.
See, so this is the type of statement you make at the Grammys.
But I don't agree with that. It's one thing to make a statement, but you don't even look like yourself. And
she looks gorgeous.
The picture was weirdly taken because looks like the Grammy trophy is like a part of her outfit.
She looks freaking gorgeous. That
no, it's don't get me wrong. It's a very elegant.
That
dress.
Versace number looks so amazing on her.
It's edgy.
It's edgy, it's feminine, it's everything.
But her face did she get put down in her face? Because her face didn't even look like herself.
Okay, I cannot. Okay,
let's. Sure, this is Camilla?
Yes. Okay, come on, please.
It didn't look like her. Next.
She looked freaking gorgeous.
So far, we haven't agreed on any single person.
DJ Khaled, there you go.
I can't see anything.
Oh, here you go. Here.
All right, so DJ Khaled. I like the shoes, my dude. I can't really see what's going on with the tie right now. I can't see what's going on with the tie. I can't zoom in on this.
Can we get your eyes checked?
No, but the tie I can't see because he's wearing black on black, so I can't really tell what's going on with the tie.
It's just black on black.
I feel like the tie has some sort of print on it.
So let me go to the downloads. Hold on. Really disappointment all over again.
Okay, you got 5 minutes.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Other than the shoes, the outfit's doing nothing.
Exactly. Okay, so moving on. What was that? Usher.
What did good old Usher do? Did he do anything exciting?
Nope.
He also shouldn't have to care anymore.
Yep. Nah.
He looks very uncomfortable.
He looks like he's stuffed. He looks like
a stuffed animal.
Yeah,
he's sitting on the corner of some 16-year-old.
He looks like a spring roll stuffed into foil paper or something.
Yeah, I don't like any of this.
Nothing.
Actually, I'm very disappointed. No. Now that's disappointing.
There's a lot of disappointments there.
Why is pants like Oompa Loompa pants?
John Legend.
Yes.
The shoes. That's why I'm okay.
But I see it. You know what? I wouldn't have paired those shoes with this outfit.
That's the only thing.
I think whoever styled him did that. Obviously, it's on purpose. There's no mistake about those shoes. That's picked on purpose.
I loved his outfit.
I think they did it because the jacket is so exaggerated and such a statement that if he just wore a pair of Oxfords or something that was a bit more tapered look, I think that because he's trying to make the flow of the whole outfit with the bigger shoes. You know what? I like it. I like the shoes. I wouldn't even thought of putting those shoes with this.
I'm not feeling the shoes. The shoes were the first thing that stood out to me. I'm honestly not feeling the shoes.
The shoes is the first thing that stood out to you in this picture?
Yeah.
Are you looking at the blazer?
Yes, but I loved his entire look. I love the blazer. I think he killed it. It was amazing. Yep. Priyanka Chopra, please fire your stylist now.
I can't look at her. Even in general, I don't like her.
Fire your stylist. You look like you have draped a curtain around you.
Yeah.
That's it.
But then you like Gwen Stefani who wore a lampshade.
Okay. I liked Priyanka Chopra overall. I've liked her, and there have been times she's done some amazing styles and amazing fashion. So I'm not gonna hate on her. I will sit with you and we'll go through that.
We've tried this before, and I've disagreed with every single time.
No, we have not tried that yet.
Yes, you sent me pictures, and I'm like, no.
Let's the like popcorn and have a night out of it, and I'll show
I
you.
don't want to
some
sit there
stuff.
for a night, waste my time looking at Priyanka Chopra outfits. That's not my idea of a fun night.
Dear God,
If I want to be miserable and I want to be depressed, I'll do that.
Okay. Point is, hated this outfit. Please fire your stylist and hire me. I'll give you my number.
Yeah. How many more do we have here?
A few more. I'm not going through all of them, but I loved this.
This is incredible.
I freaking loved Alexandra in this. Like she
So we're looking at Alessandra Ambrosio, for those that are wondering right now. So she's wearing like this, like a shorts jumper, but then she has this, like on the one side it's a full jumper that sort of covers and drapes the shorts jumper. Whatever way it's done, it's we'll put a picture up right now, but it's really, really
that made my top 10.
I can see that.
Like so beautiful.
And so it's built for her body. It's amazing.
It's just amazing. Yeah. Like okay, so then let's go.
So her and Jamila are top 2 right now, I think. Actually, I'll put John Legend in there too, top 3.
Baby, I actually liked this. I loved this look.
Okay, so BB Rexa is who we're looking at right now. She's wearing a nude top with a...
Well, so it's a mesh.
It's a mesh nude.
It's a crystal... Okay, it's a crystal mesh turtleneck. Like a black tuxedo type suit.
Yeah.
And that won me over. Like, that also made my top 10.
Very well done.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think she looked phenomenal. Very elegant. So... Yeah. These are few of the looks. I mean, there were like 90 looks.
Yeah. So we'll put all those pictures up. You'll see them obviously throughout the podcast if you're watching on YouTube. But if you're on the streaming sites or on the video show, it's going to be all on our Facebook page.
Or if you want, just come onto my stories and you can give your vote, your yays or nays as well. But it's still going to be there.
It'll be in the history by then. So or you're going to repost them?
It's actually on my highlights. I do have a Grammy 2020 highlights. So feel free to come and give your comments.
It's at Rashi Bindra, and you can check out her 2020 Grammy'S highlight. But I don't think you can vote once it's in your highlights. I think that's only live.
Give a comment.
Yeah.
Like
drop her a comment, DM her.
Like I've actually had discussions. So yesterday, while I'm doing stuff, I've had people going on and on about like someone's this, someone's that. Like people got very into it yesterday with me, and I was just like, okay, I'm all for it. Let's do this.
Okay, so let's get your Grammy's fashions final thoughts and synopsis. You got literally like 30 seconds.
Lily Singh, please buy shoes that fit you, or find a stylist who knows what the fuck they're doing. You are a household name. You have to like live up to that. Priyanka Chopra, please fire your stylist. Okay, just fire her. There you go. Jamila, call me. I'm very single. There you go.
Alessandra,
I'm also there.
Yeah,
call me there too.
DM both of them.
John Legend, I loved your look.
So my top 3 were, from what you showed me, because I haven't seen all of them yet either, but Alessandra, Jamila, John Legend, all looked incredible.
They looked amazing. You know, actually, the Jonas Brothers also looked really good.
You know what, they actually do for the most part. I don't think I've ever had a scenario where I've looked at one of their red carpet outfits and I'm like, it sucks. I think for the most part,
they made it to my top 10. They actually looked really handsome.
Yeah.
They
do, and those guys got style. They pull it off well. Usher, so, I apologize, but I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Exactly. So,
okay. So, any final thoughts? We're gonna close off right now. You got 10 seconds.
No, not really. I'm good. I think I've kind of said that.
That's really a first right there. Rashi doesn't have any final thoughts.
I have already told my final thoughts on these.
Yeah, but you always have a final thought to the final thought and another final thought while we're off air too, so it doesn't end. All right, guys, so thank you for tuning in to Elevated Grapes.
Fine, I was about to say something, but okay, whatever.
Yep, your time has already passed. Thank you for tuning in to Elevated Grapes. I am your host, Sethi.
And Stylist Rashi Bindra.
And we will catch you next week. Say bye, Rashi.
Okay, bye.
Hey, guys, thank you for watching that podcast or that video. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more of us and see some of our behind-the-scenes stuff, subscribe below.
Yes, hit that little red, button thingy that's over there and hit subscribe and keep following us for a lot more cool, fun stuff.
Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you soon.